on. Hi everybody, I'm Melinda Emerson, small biz lady, America's #1 small business expert. And I'm so excited to talk to you today about my new book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, the second edition. I am so proud and excited about this book because finally I have everything you could possibly need to know to start and run a profitable and sustainable small business. And what I'm going to do over the next few minutes is really talk to you about what's in this book and why it is really the essential tool you need. I give you straightforward, no nonsense, actionable advice. You know, some people have told me this book is the Straight Talk Express of how to start a successful business. Now, I want to tell you my story and why I wrote this book, because I think that is what is going to make you understand how much I care about you, how much I am the chairman of your fan club as you get ready to start your dream business. Listen, I know what it's like to have a soul-sapping job. I used to get headaches on the way to work in the morning. I worked for people who did not appreciate me, and I did work that seemed, mindless, like almost like some trained chimp could do it, honestly. It was my dream job. I always wanted to be a television producer, but let me tell you something. My dream job became a nightmare. And this happens to people sometimes. The woman that hired me quickly left after hiring me, and it became open season on me. But that's okay, because every kick is a boost, and every job I have ever had prepares me for the entrepreneurial job I do today. So I don't regret any of it. I'm appreciative of it, because one of the things a bad manager can teach you is how not to treat people, right? So listen, I want to talk to you more about what is in this book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, the second edition. I want to know, have you been thinking about starting a business? Are you tired of worrying about whether or not the layoff knife is coming for you? Are you somebody who's been working a side hustle job for years and you finally want to take it to the next level and make it your sole source of income? Well, if you do, I have the secret formula for you. Become Your Own Boss in 12 months will give you everything you need to create a profitable and sustainable small business. Now, anybody can start a business, but not everybody knows how to run a business. And the secret great stuff in this book is I walk you through the steps of how to start a business, right? So, this book is called Become Your Own Boss in 12 months. So I do tell you how to start, but let me tell you something. This book has gold nuggets for existing entrepreneurs too. And let me tell you how. First of all, when you are thinking about starting a business, there is a lot of questions you need to ask yourself. And the first question you need to ask yourself is, what is it going to cost for me to deliver my product or service? And the next thing you need to ask yourself is, what can I sell it for? The third thing you need to really think about is, how am I going to manage my inventory? How am I going to get the money to start this dream business? Then you got to figure out, can you sell? And when you start out in business, here's something that I want you to understand. You are selling yourself as much as you're selling your product or service. So I'm going to spend a lot of time in this book talking to you about mindset and getting your confidence in place. Because let me tell you something, 90% of business success is confidence. And sometimes things will happen to us that'll knock our confidence down. Sometimes it might be the person that loves you the most that will say something discouraging to you, and they don't even realize they're cutting you with a knife. But let me tell you something. At the end of the day, you are going to have to figure out ways to motivate yourself. You're going to have visual motivators around you. You're going to have to use musical motivators. And one of the things I'm going to teach you in this book is that you need to get yourself your own personal theme song. Let me tell you something. I use music to psych myself up before I get on the phone with a customer to close business or before I go and meet with customers. And the reason why is because I think everybody needs to get their mojo working. I'm from Philadelphia. The most famous movie ever shot in Philadelphia is Rocky. And every time Rocky needed to boost himself up, Rocky's music came on. So you need to do the same for you. You need to have your favorite music on your iPod. You need to have it in your car, however you listen to music in your car. You need to have it on YouTube as your favorites so that you can go and hit your music and get re-energized and recharged so that you can go out there and handle business. But let me tell you about one of the special things in this book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months. One of my favorite aspects of this book is my Emerson planning system. I have developed a 6-step system to help you transition from employee to entrepreneur. And let me tell you about the Emerson planning system. Step number 1 in the Emerson planning system is you need to develop a life plan. I want you to figure out what you want out of life first. I want you to figure out what you want out of life, and then I want you to figure out why you want it. And once you get really, really clear on those things, I want you to develop a vision board for what your best life looks like. Because once you have that information, then you can develop a business that aligns with that. A lot of times I have seen people start businesses. They actually were good businesses, but they weren't good businesses for them. I tell a story in this book about a woman that I knew who was an executive at a pharmaceutical company. Quit her 6-figure job to start a food franchise. Well, what kind of employees do you get to work at food franchises? Teenagers, because who else is going to work for $8 to $10 an hour, right? So she realized once she started her business that she hated teenagers. And I literally bumped into this woman 2 years later, and she told me that she was grateful to be back in corporate America because she just really didn't enjoy her business. She told me that she felt like she was a slave to her business and that it didn't fulfill her. Now listen, if she had had my book and gone through my system in Become Your Own Boss in 12 months, she wouldn't have quit her job without really thinking through what her life was going to be like running her business. I don't want that to happen to you. That's why I wrote this book and I have my system. Now let me talk to you about step 2 in the Emerson planning system. It's developing your financial plan. Listen, here's the deal. The money to start your business is going to come from your right or your left pocket. So your ability to save has everything to do with your ability to start your business. Here's the deal. Banks do not loan money to start up businesses. There are some nonprofits that do loan money. You may be able to get a micro loan up to about $35,000 from a nonprofit or a CDFI that loans money, but you know that you will not be able to live off of that money and start your business. So at some point, your personal savings is going to come into play. The other thing you've got to think about is what your credit situation is. If your credit is a mess, if you're carrying a bunch of credit card bills, you got to clean all that stuff up before you start your dream business. And in Become Your Own Boss in 12 months, I tell you how to reposition your finances so that you can be in the best credit position to run your dream business. Because guess what, guys? Your credit, your personal credit, is your business's credit when you first start out. And really, even though I've been in business 16 years, they will still run my personal credit if I go into a retail store to apply for a credit card for my business. So it's very, very important that you spend the time building up your credit, fixing everything so that you can leverage your personal credit and frankly your credit cards to launch your business and grow your business. You will not really be able to approach a bank and try to build a line of credit until your business has been in business 2 years or more and that you have positive cash flow. So understand that you're going to have to bootstrap your business in most cases in order for your business to launch. Now, the third step in the Emerson planning system is validating your business concept. I want you to think about how this business is going to work, and then really think about what skills you have and what skills you need to run your particular business. it's really going to be difficult for you if you don't have any industry experience in the business that you want to start. So one of the things that I recommend that might be of help to you in this book is for you to go and work part-time for a business like the one you want to start. You can learn a lot of valuable information from that. You can learn what you should do and maybe what you shouldn't do. You may also get some insider information on what kind of vendors could be most valuable to you in your business. Now, step 4 in the Emerson planning system is developing your marketing plan. And there's a lot to that. First of all, you've got to figure out who your customer is, who your niche customer is. And then you've got to figure out what is going to be your message to communicate with that customer. But one of the best aspects in this book, in the second edition of Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, is all of the great social media information I have in here. Now you're going to know how to build your brand online. We're going to start with developing your number one sales tool, your website. Then I'm going to walk you through developing your content strategy. And lastly, in the marketing section of this book, I'm going to teach you how to be a social media ninja like me. Now listen, I reach 3 million entrepreneurs a week online, and I generate over 60 million media impressions every single week. And I'm going to teach you how to do the same. I'm going to give you all of my social media selling secrets. And that's one of the best things about the new aspect of this book. Now, the 5th step in the Emerson planning system is developing your business plan. That's right, folks. Listen, you have to plan for success. It will not just happen to you. So you actually do need a business plan. Don't be one of these people who spends more time planning your vacation than you do how you're going to support yourself and your family financially. I'm not saying you need to develop this 40-page monstrosity for your business plan, but you do need, a document that's going to tell you how your business is going to operate. How are you going to sell it? What are your sales projections? What are your expenses? You've got to figure this stuff out up front so that when things start happening in your business, it's not a surprise to you. If you develop a plan and you work your plan, you will have a successful business. And here's another note about business plans. Business plans are meant to be a living, breathing document, which means you need to be reviewing your business plan every 2 to 3 months to make sure your business is on the right track. Because when you look at a business plan, really it's your hypothesis of what you think is going to happen in the marketplace. But once you have some data, once you get out there and start marketing your business, start making some sales, you have a lot better information and you can adjust. So don't be one of these people that develops a business plan because you're trying to get a loan or you're trying to run a business, enter into a business plan competition. You want to use your business plan to actually run your business. Now, step 6 in the Emerson planning system, and this advice actually may surprise you, but I believe that everyone should be side hustlers. I want you to launch this business while you're still working. And there's a couple of reasons for that. If you launch your business while you're still working, the reality is 90% of all small businesses get business from referrals. So the person in the cubicle beside you is likely to be your first customer or your first referral. So it is extremely important for you to keep your job as long as you can. And here's the other reason why. It takes 12 to 18 months for a small business to break even, let alone throw off enough money to replace your corporate salary. So it is extremely important for you to keep that paychecks rolling as long as you can. Because let me tell you something, once you cut those paychecks off, they are off. And you're going to want to learn on somebody else's dime as long as you possibly can. Now, I want to talk to you about my 12-month plan because the most common question I'm asked is, small biz lady, why does it take 12 months to become your own boss? Well, let me tell you something. There are 5 reasons why small businesses fail. And the number one reason why small businesses fail is because people don't think about what their life is going to be like as an entrepreneur. They just know they want to start a business. And you know what? That is a way for you to crash fast. I want you to think through your life plan before you ever write a business plan. The second reason why small businesses fail is because people have no network to sell to. Your network is your net worth when you start out in business. And I got to tell you something. I have seen so many people who have no friends, who don't do a good job at keeping in touch with people, who do not send out holiday cards. Listen, if you want friends, you must be friendly. And it is extremely important for you to nurture your network 12 months before you're going to start your business. Because let me tell you something. The last thing somebody who hasn't heard from you in 5 to 10 years wants to hear is that you calling them trying to sell them something. Nurture your network. And the other thing you've got to do is evaluate whether or not you're known more internally or externally at your job. If you are a salesperson, you're really lucky, because that means you get out on the street, you got a network, you're always working the phones, and you have some natural sales skills. But if you have an internally facing job and you really only interact with people inside your company, you're going to have to teach yourself how to network. You're probably going to have to force yourself to learn how to network. And I have all of the information that you need to know about how to network, how to build a network, the kind of things you need to do to nurture your network. All of that information is in Become Your Own Boss in 12 months. Now, let me talk to you about the third reason why small businesses fail. Too often people spend all their time trying to chase new business. How can I get new customers? Well, let me tell you something. The number one thing you need to try to figure out is how to keep your customers. I want you to focus on your existing customer base from day one, because it's cheaper to keep a customer than it is to go out and get a new one. And your first sale with a customer is usually your most expensive sale. So what I want to do is help you understand how you can keep your customers by keeping in touch with them. So all of that information is in the book. I'm going to help you build a very powerful communications and email marketing program so that you can make sure that you stay top of mind with your existing customers. Now, the fifth thing that people do that really mess themselves up in business is they try to chase anybody that they think has business rather than having a niche target customer. Let me tell you something. If everybody can use your product or service, no one will. You want to make sure that you are a specialist in your industry, because let's face it, guys, specialists can charge more money. I tell people like this: who do you think makes more money, your primary care physician or your cardiologist? Well, listen, the person you want to be in business is a cardiologist, because all the cardiologists I know drive Ferraris. So you want to position yourself so that you are the queen or king of your niche. And you want to think about it from the very beginning, because the two things that all small business owners have in common is limited time and limited resources. So you might as well pick a niche market that you can actually reach. You don't want to waste time having too broad of a marketing focus. You want to niche. So let's say you want to be a consultant. How about you become a consultant to IT companies? That way you become the guru of IT consulting. That's how you do it. Does the world need another graphic design company? No, they do not. Does the world need a graphic design company that specializes in developing educational materials? All day long, that graphic design company can get business. You have to have an area of service that you own, that you are the best resource for. Because when you do that, when your customers call you, you do not have to explain to them whether or not you can solve their problem. They will already know, because you have already taken the time to brand yourself as their number one resource. And that is extremely important for you to do in your business. And the last reason why small businesses fail is because people lack fiscal discipline. Let me tell you something, guys. If you don't manage your household with a budget, you're not going to manage your business with one. And businesses that are successful are run based on up-to-date financial information. So it is extremely important that you focus on your finances. And the reason why it takes 12 months, I think, to plan a business the right way is because you don't know all this stuff. It's hard. You're going to learn so much as you start and run this business. You're going to be stretched in ways you never thought possible. It's a spiritual journey as much as it is anything else. But let me tell you something. In order to be a successful entrepreneur, you must be a lifelong learner. You must be willing to say, you know what? Okay, we didn't win that one, but what did we learn? And move on. I mean, a lot of times, let me tell you something, 7 out of 10 businesses fail in their second year of operations. I don't want that to happen to you. That's why I wrote this book. I am trying to give you everything you need so that you don't have this huge learning curve. I'm going to take 3 to 4 years off of your learning curve in business if you invest in this book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months, the second edition. Listen, when I first wrote this book in 2008, the world was very different. The market had crashed and people were losing jobs right and left. And you know what also crashed? The world of the generalist consultant. It is not about, I think I can do this, I think I can do that. No, you need to know you can do it, and you need to be a resource, and you need to position yourself with it. And one of the best things about my book, I have a system for you to create yourself as an authority figure. I walk you through how to develop a powerful online brand. And nowadays, it's not enough to, put up a website and get some business cards. If people Google you and they don't find anything, you are in trouble. You must understand social media. You must have something that comes up in Google when people search for you or search for the name of your company. So I'm going to walk you through all of these things in this book. How to develop your profile on LinkedIn, how to develop your content strategy. Your content strategy is everything, because when you first go out here to social media, it really is about what I call the help mantra. So I'm going to walk you through how to be helpful to others online. Then you've got to engage people. And the way you engage people is with quality content. That's why your content strategy is so incredibly important. The other thing you've got to do is listen. You can't assume that you know the culture of the different social media sites. LinkedIn people do not want to be communicated to as much as people that use Twitter. So you've got to understand how different groups of people use the different social media sites. You also need to learn how to promote yourself with care. I don't know about you, but nobody I know wants to be sold to. So you need to really figure out how you can educate, inform, and entertain your target customer. What you want to do is create inbound marketing. You don't want to have to constantly be picking up the phones, beating people up, trying to sell stuff. You want to build your brand online in such a way that you attract your best target customer to you. And I'm one of the top experts at that online. So now I put all of that information into this new book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 Months. I'm telling you, this is the most comprehensive solution for anyone who wants to start or reinvent an existing business. Now, for those of you in business already who think, I don't know if this book